to paint every conversation. I think I want to start with that before we move on to the Samoa agreement. We have with us former presidential aide, Mr. Akande, with you, and host of Inside Sources. Good to have you here with us.
Good morning, Kayla. Good to see you again.
So let's talk a bit about this. Let's start from here before we get to Samoa.
Exciting news.
So because we have been talking about local government autonomy, it's been a very big issue, blamed for everything, the economic downturn, insecurity. Now the Supreme Court has done this. So what next?
So I think it's a big flip, you know, and it's exciting that the Supreme Court has acted on the side of common sense and on the side of reason. We hope that first of all we should get more details of this thing, but we hope that this will be compelling enough for us to begin to see some changes. You know, certainly there are governors who are not affected, but for the most part, you know, we have suffered as a people by the fact that local government administration in our country has virtually disappeared. We hope that this is going to be a turning point.
A ruling from the Supreme Court means they can be compelled.
Absolutely.
That's the best part of this.
Absolutely,
story.
yeah.
They can now be compelled.
I just meant that, yes, we need more details because you know how it is that people will now begin to spin things back and forth.
Oh, no.
But I think you are right.
Yes.
You know,
you can now be compelled to do the right thing. And local government administration is one that has suffered. I mean, basically disappeared. Yeah, for most of the states that we have. So this is very, very fulfilling and it's exciting. Let's see how the state governors will react. For the state governors, and who we know over the years have not been in support of this local government autonomy. Not all of them. Many people have.
Of course. You know, some
but
of them.
But there are those that are notorious for it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly.
How do you think they're going to take this?
Well, you know, just like you said, this is the law, and this is the highest court in the land saying that you know, they have to do things properly by the Constitution and you know, properly in a way that helps us as a people to deliver what government ought to deliver for the people.
So, like I like to say,
it's good.
The law may not change the heart, but it will tame the heartless.
Absolutely.
It will tame the heartless.
Absolutely.
Let's go on to the Samoa agreement.
Yes.
This up and down about this agreement. Let me start from this treaty that we've entered into.
Right.
What was it supposed to give us as a country, first of all? Okay,
well, so now the treaty itself is meant to be something that the European Union you know, trying to get people in Africa, in the Caribbean, together in one place for them to give, quote unquote, some kind of aid, you know. And as they say in the treaty, in the introduction, you know, it's better for them to deal with the bloc, you know, of Africans and Caribbeans in one place rather than have to do bilaterals with each of the countries, you know. And of course, you know, we know the sum of money that is involved. But
how much?
Well, about $150 million, I think.
What are we supposed to use the money for?
Well, I guess, you know, so it's essentially for development purposes. And, you know, I don't think there's going to be one specific theme for the money, but they're going to develop programs. But the more important point, Kayla, is that many of these promises are never kept. That's the first thing that, you know, most of them are not kept. How many times have we had promises of aids from all these agencies that are basically what the young Nigerians will call audio promises? But, you know, a lot. Secondly, you know, we ourselves need to, you know, start to get ourselves more informed about these things and not get excited. You know, as we are speaking now, there are a lot of promises that have been made regarding climate change adaptations that have not been met. And that's just one example. There are tons of instances of many of these quote-unquote agreements that promises aid that don't really add up. Even when they give it, it doesn't significantly affect our development. What we know that we should be advocating for more is investment, doing business together, doing trade together. That is where we can really get the real significant point. But, you know, we get ourselves excited, $150 million and all kinds of stuff. Who says that we are even going to get a dime, you know, at the end of the day? Who says the money is going to be available based on the experiences that we have, you know? But the more important thing, again, the second important thing for me is that this Samoa deal is just a distraction. It's a complete distraction. Why do I say that? So we are so worried about, the LGBTQ high you know, they are trying to sneak that into our system. The truth of the matter is that that is already in our system. Just go to social media. That's all you need to do. Go to social media and see how openly, you know, those who think that is their orientation, they are expressing themselves.
I mean, I told the lawmaker yesterday if he was aware of this. You know what he said to us?
Yeah, he's not aware.
Yes,
you know,
he said he wasn't aware.
So we pretend as if we don't know these things. We pretend as if we haven't seen this thing, especially on social media. You know, even children of prominent people coming out in the open and say that this is my orientation. If we really want to, I mean, and of course our law is against it, but what have we done about it? We have not done anything really. And now somebody is saying that, oh, they put something in an agreement. You know, clearly it's not even in the agreement. Because if you read the agreement, it is very clear that it is not in the agreement. Let's
stay on that point.
Yes.
It's not in the agreement?
It's not in the agreement.
So those clauses in the agreement that actually talk about gender equality,
yes,
and talks about sexual freedoms and sexual rights.
Yes.
So for many people, and we've heard them talk even on this program, say basically, look, when we hear these words, these are pointers. So when they talk about reproductive rights, many people believe that you're talking about abortions.
Yes.
When we talk about equality among the genders, it used to mean that women and men will be at par, but now it means that there are other genders that have to be recognized as well.
In cultures,
and then when he talks about sexual freedoms, you know, for many people, they believe that this basically is talking about your sexual choices and the right for you to express those. Now, what the bone of contention is that these things are against our laws, our people, whatever the world may be thinking about these things, they're against the laws of Nigeria. Yeah. And the laws of Nigeria are made for Nigerians. Right. If they don't like it, don't force it on them. Now, those clauses inside the Samoa Agreement talk about these things and the fact that countries like Nigeria were against them.
Yeah.
But I think that part of the conversation is where things get a little lost in translation. So maybe you could help us break that down a little.
Yeah, so those clauses, you know, will always be interpreted as it is for everybody in the context of the culture of each country and the laws of each country. Let's even assume that those things are there, you know, and for some reason the federal government has signed it. It's of no effect until it is enacted, you know, because if it does affect our laws, if it runs against our laws, we have to, if we want to do it, we have to bring it into our laws, our legal system and enact it. That has not happened, and that is not going to happen. You know, so it's the reason why I said this is just all noise, it's a storm in a teacup. But more importantly, it's a complete distraction. There are more important things that we need to get excited about, that we are not, you know, we are losing focus on dealing with them. If we must call government out, let's call government out on corruption. If we must call government out, let's call them out on problems of governance, not about a Samoa deal that is not going to really hurt anything significant, if at all it is even going to, if you're going to get it, or something that is basically, you know, trying to call our attention to, you know, what is already going on. Look, LGBTQ, I don't know whether the Q is here, but LGBT, they are active in Nigeria.
QI and plus
exactly, they are active in Nigeria. Just go to social media, go to Instagram, it's all over there. What are we doing about it?
All right, well, we do have to manage our time, probably because there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to this Samoa Agreement. But listening to you, you're basically saying, look, this